on Exploring Awesome.
Today, my guest, Dan Goyette, awesome hypnotist. We got so many things that he does. It's hard to kind of give him a title, but I'm glad you're joining us.
Would you like to live a more awesome life? Join hypnotist Jim Kellner as he explores tips, tricks, and strategies to help you and he live a more awesome life right now on Exploring Awesome.
I am still trying to get the hang of this platform, Dan. Sorry about that.
All right, man.
So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Exploring Awesome. I, of course, am your host, hypnotist Jim Kellner, and each week or thereabouts, I bring people on that can share tips, tricks, and strategies to help you and me to live a more awesome life. Today, I've got Dan Goyette, who's, he's a hypnotist. What'd you even call a creator, an entrepreneur, a founder of the Michigan Hypnosis, the conference, called the My Hypnosis Conference, MI, the Michigan, what was it called? The foundation, not the foundation, I'm a member.
The Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild.
Yes, the Guild, the Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild. And he's got Hypnocafe. I've got your notes here, so I should have just looked at those. It's been a hectic morning, but he's also got he's also the Hypnocafe podcast and the coming soon Hypnocafe Magazine. So that's really cool. Everybody, welcome, Dan.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So been a busy year for me. And that's just in part. I'll tell you that this is the year that I went from being a sole proprietor at Holtnick Hypnosis Therapy Studios to the things that we're doing right now. And that is due in part to the team that's behind me. So, and you being one of those, of course, being on the advisory board member for the Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild. And we appreciate you for doing that. And we're going to be asking your input later on for 2023 My Hypno Conference.
Awesome.
So, yeah. It's really, I know people see me doing all the videos, they see me doing all the stuff, but Heather is doing so much behind the scenes, and Jason produces the podcast. Jason Boots, I believe you met him at Hypno Thoughts.
Yeah.
And my old sound engineer for my stage hypnosis, Jays, Mike Bentley, is also a partner in Redline Media. So I've got a really good team behind me that has been pushing me uphill. Come on, Dave, get your big fat lazy butt uphill and do something. So,
nice.
But yeah, so I'm having a good time with it though.
That's awesome. So, and let's rewind a little bit. Go back. What can you tell me, Dan? How did you get into the industry in general in hypnosis? I know you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes. Back when I was about 42, and I knew I was just getting ready to retire from full-time firefighting, being a paramedic. I'm an old ghetto medic, really is what the term used to be, but we can't use that word anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I was an inner city first responder. So
gotcha.
You know what? I was going to take this course at Kirkland Community College. It was called Limited License Counselor, which we have here in Michigan. You took the course and you could bill so much through Medicare and insurance. And it seemed like something that was right up my alley because you're always dealing with behavioral emergencies in EMS.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and I went over there and signed all the paperwork. And I can't remember the advisor's name, but she said, go to this school, which was, I think at the time, the Michigan Hypnosis Institute in Warren, Michigan. So I said, okay, because you're going to use this in your limited license. Long story short, I went down there. I was about a 10-month course, came back. They told me they did not have enough people interested in the limited license counselor, so they dropped the course. So here I sat with all these, and that happens at community colleges. It does.
Sure. Yeah.
So here I sat with all these certificates. So I opened a small office in my house the first 2 years, and I saw 60 clients total in that first 2 years. And I did not know what I was going to do. So as far as being a hypnotherapist, am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And okay, well, at the time I was saving up money. Maybe I'll get an office. I went to HypnoThoughts 2015 and met with some people there. And I thought, okay, let's give it a try. So I took that money and got my first studio office. It was just a big open space. And of course, you know me, my incredible imagination, hypnotherapy studio. So that's how I got into it. I was going somewhere else and wound up here. And I'm glad because it's been a really great and interesting, fun ride.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so what was your experience? I mean, had you had any experience with hypnosis before that?
I think I was hypnotized in the military when they came in just before Desert Storm and Desert Shield and Operation Liberation Kuwait. They had some individuals come in and talk to us about torture. Yeah. And they said, it's not like it is in the movies. You're absolutely going to break, and they, and they used, the one lady used hypnosis, and that was kind of interesting. But at the time I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'm young. I'm like 18 years old. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm out of here. So fast forward 20 some odd years later, I thought, okay, we can do this. Yeah. But it was 10 years at the studio. So going from the house office to the office, which was not a great office, to the larger office that I'm in now, which is really great because I've got my client area, my reception area, the recording studio, which we're going to be upgrading here this winter. So a lot of good things. And I met you. So
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And
I wish we'd have had more time at HypnoThoughts to hang out. It's that's such a difficult. It's so hard to find any time during that event.
I did not make it to a single presentation. I mean, just like everyone was coming. We are putting together those videos, but we had so many people that the guys were like, "Listen, we got to trim this down, or it's going to be." So I think it's going to be a block of videos. From day one, day two. It's like it's huge. We had, I think we did 25 videos. My voice gave out twice. So, and then I went and did the presentation. So, but, and speaking of that, well, real quick, I do want to say, thank you to this gentleman, Jim Kellner. You just hopped right on that first conference. It's our first year. You're like, you know what? It's going to grow. I'm going in. And so,
I love the idea of this, of being a part of a first-time conference. I don't know about you, but for me, I never really saw the value in going to conferences. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know why, but it has changed my life.
It's the connections that you make.
It is.
I wrote a blog about it, and not, a nasty blog, just a blog speaking about conferences. I tend to pick a conference. I went out obviously and I presented at all of them. And this is the year that I'm stepping back from presenting because I'm just too much on my plate. But, and then I said, you know what, this one is okay. And that one I can work with. They fit my schedule. So but, we were, Heather, I think that whole conference just got started from a discussion. We had a conversation, why don't we have a conference here in Michigan? I said, I don't know. I said, nobody does one. And she goes, well, why don't we do one? And I went, that's a lot of work, Heather.
Right. Yeah.
As you well know.
So,
because you're putting the Seattle conference together.
Well, so it's not going to be called the Seattle conference, but it's going to be called something for the Northwest. We're trying to expand a little bit, but absolutely. We're still in the and hey. Big announcement, everyone. We're putting together a conference. Cat's out of the bag. I hope Anthony doesn't mind. We're actually we're finalizing things this week, I think, with the venue. So it's pretty exciting. And I mean, just imagining the work that's involved. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it. I mean,
it's a lot of logistics. But I can make a sneak announcement here. Because the venue, you'll find out if this works for you guys, but because the venue that worked with us, it was willing to work with us first time out. Some of the larger venues waited to see what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they know, it's like, oh, they checked our website. Oh, people are coming, and you have presenters, and you have this. Now they're sending us contracts and proposals for
Nice.
a bigger venue
Wow.
that'll give us less logistics. I won't have to work as hard.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Nice.
But because I don't know, is Washington, Michigan's kind of a prove it to us state. I don't know if your area is like that. So, but some of the larger places where you might do something like that want to kind of go, well, you're going to have to show us first.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So far, we're really a scaled down version of what you're doing, really scaled down. This first time around, we're going to check it out. So the venue that we're working with has been really cool. And I don't even know, we had reached out to some venues before COVID, but we hadn't really gotten back in touch with them because things have changed so much. So I'm curious, what makes a guy, and you and Heather, actually, you're both hypnotists, right? She's a hypnotherapist as well, right?
No, Heather Carpenter kind of happened into organically, if you will. A lot of what's happened with my business, if you will, my practice, kind of happened organically. She was the assistant director. She is now the director of Tri-Township EMS, who I did some shifts with and still continue to do a few shifts with. I think because I know we had to reschedule because hey, we need you to take this really sick patient because you're only one of so many guys that can do this. Yeah. So she looked at my website. She looked at the Facebook page and she goes, "What language are you using?" Seriously. So she started helping me out, just, making sure everything was spelled right and checking it. And from there, it blossomed into the LLC, long story short. So she really said, hey, you're going to all these conferences, you're presenting, you're making them money, you're spending money.
Yeah.
What would you think about doing a conference? And I said, well, obviously we talked a lot about how would we create that. And then we came up with the guild. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And
could I, I hope this doesn't, because this is, I hesitate to bring this up, but I'm going to
bring it up
because here's the thing. It's a teachable moment, I think, for people. And for some of you out there, if you're a new hypnotist, want to be hypnotist, I do run a Facebook group called Launch Your Hypnosis Career Now. And so please join. It's not very active. I don't really know, what people, it's funny when you try to help people to launch, it's a tough thing to do. It really is. I think it's some people are going to do it. Some people aren't, and you can push them and pull them and everything. And it's still just not going to happen. But one of the things that I found, I'm actually going to give you praise, but for a second, I just want to step back because I know your dad's going, oh my God, what's he going to do? So I had shared one of your posts, of course, for the conference in my group.
Excellent.
And there was something like, I think you'd used the wrong version of there or something like that. It was like THER when it should have been THE, whatever it was. It was something that's not even a real it could be a typo. It could be it's just a mix. It's a minor thing. And somebody in that group wrote beneath it something along the lines of, can't even get the thing right. This is a poor reflection on our field or something. and I immediately wrote back. I mean, at first I want to attack them, of course. You always want to, you feel, but I did. I said, I just wrote back and I just said, how's your business going?
Yeah.
And they wrote back. I can't remember what they wrote back, but they said something along the lines of, again, this is such a, it's just a poor reflection on on the field or something. And again, I said, well, how's your business going? Because my philosophy on this is, if you're focused on your business, why do you care about what somebody else is doing?
So, yeah. And sometimes that's why Heather really takes that. I do a lot of writing. So, but in the day to day of my business, sometimes I'll realize, hey, I got to hop on and do a post real quick. So, I'll do it. Done. Yeah. And then the client comes in, or I'm on the phone, or I'm on a conference call. So sometimes those little mistakes happen. And yeah, I've had that too, the font police, if you will. And everyone has a place. And our mission statement, not a motto, we have a mission statement for the Guild and the conference is learn, share, grow.
Love that.
Yeah, that is one of the things I have done throughout my career. As you know, I'm very academic. I'm very scientific approach to hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So I've always said, if we learn it and if we strive to learn and then we share that information and then we all grow as practitioners and as clinicians and as business persons. That is really our mission statement, because when I got out of school here in Michigan, when I finished in October of, I think, 2011, you looked at the map, hypnotherapists were everywhere. You look at the map of Michigan now, and I realized we lose, some people like, I'm not going to do this. And but we lost over half of those individuals. And Michigan leads the nation. We're 14th in small businesses closing.
Oh, wow.
So, So I thought to myself, well, how can I help people to grow? I'm not a launch your business guy. I'm not a business coach. I'm a clinician. Yeah. But I thought, the first thing, we got to have a guild. We got to have someplace that they can meet. We've got to have an educational experience, someplace that they can go. Yeah. So, and you're the same thing, we're all trying to move hypnosis and hypnotherapy forward, I think, in a positive way. And so
absolutely. And what really, really great points. And you're doing so much. But the only reason I want to bring this up, Dan, is because because there's so many people out there that are not making in our field, or in entrepreneurs anyway, they're not making videos. They're not posting on social media. They're not doing blogs, all these things that you have to do today to be successful. Yeah. And it's because of these trolls, these people that are going to pick out the little things like this. But what I always want to tell them, in fact, what I do in my marketing classes, I ask them, hey, who are the people that you respect in this industry? And it's, Richard Nongard or Victoria Gallagher and Mike Mendel. And I ask them, I go, hey, so do you think Richard Nongard is up at 4 a.m. Trolling your posts and writing bad comments? No. Because Richard Nongard's got stuff to do. Sorry, he's got stuff to do.
No, he does have stuff to do, because I know that he is taking over. Karen is, at least this was the thing. She's going to be still on the board, but Richard is going to be, kind of taking the reins of the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference. So he's got things to do. Just much like me, I just did a video on the conference page. Just, hey, if you're a presenter, I wanted people to email me anything that they want about their business and so on and so forth, so that we can add that to their bio that's going in that inaugural launch of the Hypnocafe magazine, because every presenter is going to be displayed in that first magazine. So, by the way, you're going to be in the first run of Hypnocafe.
Oh, so sweet. When did you post that video? I didn't see it.
Just today,
just today. Okay, good. I gotta watch it. See what I gotta do.
And
but
it's
not even. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think what happens sometimes too is people just behaviorally. I don't know if you do this, but I do it. I tend to type the way I talk.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I don't troll anybody's posts. I never do that. So,
because you got stuff to do. That's and it's not just Nongard. I'm talking. I'm talking anybody. None of the success. I don't think. I find it hard to believe. Any of the successful people in this business give a darn what you're doing. They're not going to be trolling you It's people that are actually doing less than you usually. Whenever anybody makes a crappy comment on one of my YouTube videos, I click on their profile. Nearly every single time they have 0 videos posted of themselves. So this is what I really want to stress to people is that you put the stuff out. People are going to attack you no matter how good it is. You can't get around it. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. The biggest attacks I used to get here in Michigan for the old hypnosis page, the Holton Lake Hypnosis Therapy Studios page. I don't know if this ever happened to you. I would have these people like, oh no, he's a witch, he's a sorcerer, he's a witch. John 3:16, Antichrist. I'm not a nice. Come on, I'm a nice guy.
Right. Exactly.
And you got to delete those. That's the sad thing about it is you can't leave that up on your business page. And these are people that don't even know you. They haven't talked to you or met you or anything like that. But I have tried and strived over this last couple of years to enhance that professionalism to a point where it's going to be really beneficial for people to, be around and have that team mentality, if you will. Because I've always subscribed to the, if I'm successful, you're successful, we're successful kind of, thought pattern, you know what I mean? So I know that I would, in a minute, if you said, hey, I need help, with some of the conference stuff that I'm doing out here. Yeah, absolutely. I would help you out in a second. So you wouldn't even be.
Well, it's funny because I reached out to you a few months ago and I was like, oh God, I'm sure he's really busy. I don't really know him that well. And you were so kind. You're so open and helpful. And I really appreciate that.
So yeah, not a problem. It's just one of those things that, that like the first year for us here at the My Hypno Conference, it's not going to be overpowering, but the biggest thing is you launch. And exactly. I've always said that to people. If you have an event, don't schedule it, create it, and then cancel it, because canceled events don't come back.
Right. Exactly. I mean? Yeah. Good point.
You make the first one, you do the best you can, you look at what you did that year, and then you move on and make it better. Yeah. So, So one of the things we did here, I think I mentioned to you, is people ask me, it's $185. I was like, why is it so low? Because everybody else, I was like, I don't need anything. We bought the speakers, and I know you're kind of doing some similar stuff. We bought the speakers, we bought the stands, we bought the mic, everything we need. It's owned by us. I don't need a single outside company other than Redline Media, because those are my friends and we're all first responders, and they would just, grill me mercilessly. So like, why aren't you using this, buddy, pal? Come on.
Right. Yeah.
And like I said, have a good team, and that's what I've got. So they're pushing me forward.
Hey everybody, if you're listening live, we're here on, what is this? The 14th. We're here at September 14th, 2022. If you're listening live, please drop a comment down below. Let us know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. Dan's got a mug there. That's not. I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect, but I'm a hypnotist, so it's pretty much the same.
Nice.
Yeah, my old partner from my stage hypnosis show, Sarah, got me this for my birthday. So, cool. And I like it. So, and it's decaffeinated coffee. I'm just this hyper all the time.
So if you are listening live, please drop a comment down below. Let us know where you're listening from. If you have any questions for Dan about, living the awesome life, about hypnosis, whatever, please drop those down below as well. Love to have you on. I can even add somebody if somebody wants to be. We got someone from Denver, Colorado. Fantastic.
Hey, Denver.
Thanks, Denver. Facebook doesn't show me who you are, but I'll look it up and find out who you are in a moment. But please also, when you're listening to this on Anchor or one of your favorite, great, Switzerland, fantastic.
Hi, Yvonne.
Wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, please give us a review. Love to get that. If you're a hypnotist, reach out to Dan for next year's conference. That'll be happening. And Dan, what's a good way for people to? Oh my God, Scott!
Hey, Scott!
Scott Sandlin is listening.
Yeah, I'm thinking. He sent me a message. I'll get to it. I will, Scott, if that's the Scott that sent me a message. I can see it flashing over here. Scott has messaged you. So, and it's the one thing I will say with hypnosis and hypnotherapy is I always say have a good reference library. One, have a good reference library that you can go to if you need to do it, work on it. Two, don't be afraid of the tough clients. I have worked with clients for cancer, Parkinson's. I was a part of a care team with a client for schizophrenia, affect. I have never shied away from the tough clients. So
Nice.
because that's how, in my estimation, you build confidence and strength, and you learn because you've got to research that particular, okay, what do I do for this client? Because clearly I can't cure any of those as a hypnotherapist, but I can help with emotional support. I can help with, anxiety and stress. I can help with, just helping them to live a better life, not healing, but maybe a better quality, if you will. It's degrees and levels. So I don't know what your thoughts on that, Jim, but I say don't shy away from the tough clients.
I don't either. Let me grab your what's your website real quick, Dan?
It is Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild.com.
Well, that's the one you use all the time. Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So,
Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild.com.
Yep. And this year has been another interesting year. We just picked up 2 interns and a therapist. So, and the gentleman that's going to be working with us, Robert Corso, took the same class that I did through the Michigan Hypnosis Institute. And he wanted to come aboard because he hasn't worked with a client yet. So we're trying to build him a client portfolio. Just got him added to the website. So it's a good thing, but I can honestly say that I don't think any of this would have happened for me. Cause I know I keep coming back to it, but I'm just astounded to have this amazing team of people that are right there to just say, we're going to help and we're going to do this. So, and I know I joked about the Heather and the spreadsheet, but she says it like that, and to me, that's an amazing thing when you have somebody that can just sit down and handle all the finances for the year. And just, that's a great thing. So
it's funny. It's funny you're talking about, you're mentioning that because, Scott Sandlin's on, he's one of the founders of the Hypnothoughts Conference. If you're not a hypnotist, you don't know anything about this part, but I want to just make sure, and I should have said this earlier. We are talking about hypnosis today with a hypnotist. Not every episode is about hypnosis. So if you're not into hypnosis, come back again. But what I want to say was, I'm hoping that you can take these lessons that Dan is talking about and apply them in wherever you're at in your life, whether it's you're an entrepreneur or just in life in general. Some of the things we're talking about, tackling those difficult issues, taking on things that maybe you're, maybe you think are too big. And then also, I love this idea of you do what you're good at and you let somebody else do what they're good at. And it sounds to me like the Scott Sandlin, Stephanie, I never can say her name right. Is it Skiba?
I can't say it either right. But I don't know Scott that well. I mean, we've met at Hypnothoughts and he's a very nice guy. And I can honestly say he can take credit because, like I said, I didn't know that. I'm like, am I going to go hypnotherapy? 2015 comes along. I scraped together $283. I scraped together money. We flew out on Spirit Airlines. Wow.
Ooh, poor guy.
and went to Hypnothoughts. And it was just, So, and then the very next year he said, hey, you know what? Come back, present. It'll be good. And I went back and I presented and I thought to myself, this is something viable that I can do. And then of course you fast forward 12 years later and here we go. Shelley Stockwell is coming out to our conference here in Michigan, and she told me that we used to have a conference here in Michigan, and they moved it. I did not know this. It was the dental conference, and it was in February, which I think it might still be in February. And I've always said to myself, if you're in Michigan in February,
I'm not coming.
yeah, you are either the most passionate snowmobiler on earth,
right,
or you lost a bet. So
yeah.
I can understand why they moved it somewhere warmer. But like I said, we put the conference together just to kind of help Michigan hypnotherapists, and of course, anyone's welcome to come. Bob is I'm waving at Jason. He just came in. He's a little bit of the case study. Took the hypnotherapy training, has never seen a client, and there's a lot of those folks here in Michigan took the hypnotherapy training.
Yeah,
they've never done anything with it. So,
yeah.
But
well, I love what you're doing there. You're bringing in the interns. You're helping. Not enough training programs have that kind of a. I want to say, like when I went to massage school, we had a student clinic. And there are a few hypnotherapy training programs that do that. But I really think that would help, people that are launching so much, because I got to tell you, like the training part, I really find that like learning how to be a hypnotist is not that tough. It's everything that comes after that. It's the actual working with clients and seeing different issues and things like that.
It is. We are still working forward on the proprietary school that we're putting together. We got the surety bond. We are putting together, because some of the things they want here in Michigan for that, and if you do it in your own state, they want an surety bond for the students. They want to know how you're going to advertise it. They want to see your LLC. They want to, have all these things. And once that's done, obviously we're going to start building a textbook, and that will be put together by Dazzle Printing. But one of the things I'm going to add to that is, like you just said, I had a teacher that told me that hypnosis is easy to learn. Learning how to put someone into a state of hypnosis is, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's the therapy that comes after that.
Absolutely.
She's like, it's two different sets.
It is.
Hypnosis, therapy. She used to say, just because you can hypnotize somebody does not mean you should be telling them how their life is going to be better. Yeah.
And sadly, I see that happen quite a bit in the street hypnosis field. People will go out and learn street hypnosis, and then they want to help people, quit smoking, lose weight, and change their life and stuff. And while that, you might be successful with that, I mean, there's just so much more to it than just putting someone in hypnosis and saying, quit smoking, quit smoking, quit smoking. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
and
I get it.
Yeah, I've seen your street hypnosis videos, just really great. So
Thanks.
I give you all the respect in the world. I took one street hypnosis class out at HypnoThoughts, Sean Michael Andrews, and I'm just like, it was like, go out. You're just walking out on the street. Hey, come here. Can I show you something interesting with your mind? I was like, that was not something I thought I could do and do well. So if you can do that well, and as you do, I've always said, hey, that's a positive thing for hypnosis, because you're doing it well. So it just becomes a good thing.
I didn't think I could do it either, Dan.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then I started doing it. I actually had an interesting conversation with William Mitchell, another conference organizer, and from the Heartland Hypnosis Conference. And when I first met him, we were having a chat, and he said, I was kind of talking about doing it because I had done street hypnosis for a few years, and I hadn't put a whole lot. I was just sort of, I can't remember how it came up, but he said, learning to do street hypnosis, impromptu hypnosis. I try not to, I don't want to emphasize the street part, because it really is just impromptu, because you can use it if you're giving a speech, or you're in a restaurant, somebody wants to get hypnotized. But he said that really gives hypnotists confidence and helps them to be more successful. And I didn't really see that. And then when I started actually teaching it, I really started to get that, because that's one of the fears that so many new hypnotists have, is what if they don't get hypnotized? And it's like, it should be the least of your concerns, because I mean, it's going to happen if you're doing, even if you're just reading a script, right? I mean, it's probably probably going to be hypnotized. But it helps. It really does. It makes a difference in their lives. And I've had so many of them tell me after that, wow, I really feel like now I can work with people. I can hypnotize people. So it's a great thing. I know a lot of therapists kind of poo-poo it, but just like they do stage hypnosis. But if it wasn't for stage hypnosis, most people wouldn't know about hypnosis. So
the one thing I say about stage, because I used to do stage hypnosis,
right.
And I've always said, take a stage hypnosis class, because it gives you three things. It gives you confidence, but it also, and more importantly, shows you how to obtain almost instant rapport. You're coming out on stage, you got like 2 or 3 minutes to get these people to like you and trust you and come up on stage. So you get that ability to kind of come out of your shell, get that rapport. And the third thing is it helps you think on your feet. So many times you'll be working with a client, and if they're reading a script and then they suddenly realize, oh, wait, that's not going to work. That suggestion isn't going to work. Now you've got to shift gears to conversational. It helps you think quickly on your feet to come up with the suggestion that's going to work for your client. Because as you know, I'm a little bit of an Ericksonian, whatever works for the client.
Yeah.
So, yes. And speaking of that, I've got a client that I'm going to have to be working with here in a minute.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But sorry to cut it short.
No sweat. You got to wrap it up right now.
Yes.
Okay. Dan, it was so good talking to you. I wish we could talk longer, but we'll catch up again sometime. Really quick, when is the Hypnosis Conference in Michigan?
It is October 6th, 7th, and 8th, where everybody's coming in on the 6th. We're going to have the hello party, the Hawaiian hello party, which I feel really bad for Carol Chick. She's coming from Hawaii to go to the Hawaii party.
Gotcha.
But that was Heather and Amy, or Amanda, our intern. I wanted something Halloween. I'm like, how about Hawaii Halloween? No, they didn't want that. So I got outvoted. And then the 7th, we've got our presentations going. And then the 8th, we've got our full one-day workshops.
Fantastic. So Dan, I'm going to let you go. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to stick around for a couple minutes afterwards to give us kind of a recap and everything, because Dan's got to go. Dan, I really appreciate that, and I will see you soon.
Yes, sir. So I'll be the one buying you a beer.
Thanks.
All right, bud.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
A couple of things I just wanted to chat about before I wrap this up with Dan, because one of the talks that I give, I'm a motivational speaker, and one of the talks that I give is called "Why Not You?" And I think and I don't know if we talked about it too much. I'm going to put his name up again. Oh, you've got it right down there. And we didn't really touch on this in this episode, but what I've talked to him before, and one of the things that kind of, you may ask yourself, like, when you're thinking of these ideas, these big grand ideas, or you want to put on a conference or some kind of event, or if you just want to be a hypnotist, you want to change your life by becoming a hypnotist. Sometimes we ask ourselves, well, why me? Why would anybody listen to me? Or why me? And what I would encourage you to just ask yourself is, why not me? For myself, as I'm planning different things, I'm working on different projects and stuff. There was a time in my life when I would have thought, why me? Why would somebody want to, basically listen to me or whatever? Scott Sandlin, I don't know what his how he feels about it. He seems like a pretty confident guy. Great conversation. If you're still listening, we had a great conversation at Hypno Thoughts. I don't know, maybe at one point he thought that, why me or something, but I don't know. When I talked to him, I think he was pretty, that conference, he was pretty set on anyway. But what I'm trying to make a point of is, whatever you're doing in your life, regular people that are just regular folks can do awesome things. And I know when you're in that kind of place where you're not doing the things that you want to be doing, you think that these other people are somehow special. And I want to tell you that a lot of us are just normal. We're just like you. We just decided to go for it, to make those difficult choices, to have grand vision, and go with something that we didn't really know, maybe even didn't even think that we were capable of, frankly. So I really want to just encourage you to, again, do those big things. If you want to do something, do it. The other point I wanted to make too, for the longest time, I really didn't approach, people like Dan or Scott, these conference presenters. I mentioned William Mitchell. If he wouldn't have called me, I would have never called him. I might have sent him a message or something. A lot of these people are way more accessible than you might think. And I don't want you to just, bombard these folks with messages and stuff. But, I spent a lot of my life being kind of intimidated or kind of, I feel like I shouldn't bother people that were doing great things. But the truth is, a lot of them are very open and accessible. Not all of them. Some of them are going to blow you off, and some of them, maybe they'll be kind about it, but maybe they won't. But reach out to them. Like I get questions all the time for people. If you have questions or comments, things like that, or you want some advice or something, hit me up. I'm always happy to try and help you as much as I can, or at least find you the information. And boy, we didn't even get to Dan's other stuff. I don't even know if he likes pineapple pizza or not. So is he a friend or is he a frenemy? As we usually like to play on here. And so anyway, I want to thank you for listening. I hope that you got something out of this episode. Please go give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, I am hypnotist Jim Kellner. Thank you for watching. Take care. Be well. Be awesome. I don't remember how to do this now. Shoot. Having problems. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to do this and then this.